smartphones and all this digital media, they have a certain seducing effect on human beings who possess them, who can always look at the screen, and the screen is always ready to be what? Not to transfer information. This is just nothing special, or to transfer signals, to be interpreted, to conceive a meaning of what you see on the screen. And because it is an anthropological kind of constant of a human being, sapiens, that he wants to assign meaning to signs, okay? He wants to constitute an information out of signs that he sees or whatever, reads, or some people touch, like the blind ones, okay? We receive signals that are bodily kind of received through the eyes, noses, ears, and skin. These are just quantitative changes in a sequence of, coming in waves, in a sequence of quantitative changes of either sound, volume, or pressure, or color, intensity, or luminosity, or shape, of shape, letters, for example, in any alphabet. They are graphically black spots or lines or dots on a white surface, ideally, and you assign meaning to those letters by comparison structurally. What kind of shape does this black dot have, or line, or whatever? So this is it, you understand? Signals are nothing but quantitative changes in a certain medium and in a certain sequence of this medium. And human eyes and human ears and human hands and whatever, noses even, okay, and tongues receive these signals, and they transfer them through the body via various chemical and mechanical and acoustic and electromagnetic, and finally into the nerve system, brain, and then it disappears completely in the so-called black box. This is the soul field. Nobody will ever know anything about it, really, because it is in a different dimension than the brain. It's a field phenomena, okay? And then the essence of a human individual is to have this soul, to be this soul, and assign meaning to those received signals, okay? Especially when it comes so far in the evolution of mankind that they have egos. No, then it becomes absolutely the priority to assign meaning to the signals of such a kind that it is favorable, it is advantageous to the ego, so he gets even more and more attention to those signals. As long as we have lived in the embracement of the great Mother Nature, we were assigning meanings that were, quite friendly, so to say, group-oriented, kind of, this is it for us humans when it rains and when the dogs come and when the horses whatever do, when the flowers flower and the waves are coming from the sea, when the fruits are ripening and so on. But once there's an ego, the fruits are ripening. But I have to collect more of them than my neighbor, and I have to speculate the price also, you know that. So that's why the media, this is the first idea I started, the screens of the smartphones and computers and whatever you have, they are always ready to satisfy these innate desire of the human soul and the ego to assign meaning to signs, because these are purely sign transferring gadgets. There is no meaning in it. There is no soul in it. and it's simply algorithmically throwing out all kinds of pixels and sounds and letters, let us say, okay, and we assign meaning to them. And since it is so necessary, or as philosophers, we have to ask ourselves, do we have to do it? Do we have to assign meaning all the time to certain signals? Can we not just, let it happen passively, that the signals are passing and they are reaching the black box of our soul field? Inside the human brain is the black box. This is just a metaphor. There is no box. I don't want anybody to believe that there is a box. It's simply a mystery. And we could leave it by that. Let the signals come and disappear in the black box without assigning meaning to them, desperately, which basically is the method of meditation when it is understood, because nobody understands meditation actually. It's a two-step process. It's concentration. First, concentrate on the quantity of the signals, not on the. Yes, you can say that between a sound and a vision, optical signal and a sound signal, there is a qualitative difference, yes, but it is kind of innate to the medium. Mostly we concentrate on the quantity of how much sound, how much light, and so on. And then the next step is to watch the process of assigning meaning to these signals. This is what Krishnamurti meant when he said, "You're always trying to understand what I say." And people are saying, like, "No, that's am I here? We have paid and we have journeyed and we want to know, and you are a wise man, you want to know the truth." And he always said, don't try to understand, not always, but sometimes when he was really angry with them, don't try to understand what I say. Try to follow the inner process of understanding inside your soul field. The will to understand, this powerful impulse which forces you to understand. Then you can watch it. The process of, as you assign meaning to the heard words, to the signals, the acoustic signals, then you are in the true meditation. Yes? Because you free yourself from the ego, because it's mostly the ego who supplies this will to power impulses to survive, to make it better for the ego. Because ego, that's another secret. The ego is practically simply non-existent as far as some life energy is concerned. The ego, the human ego, is only software. It's a kind of parasitic software that utilizes the true life energy of the body, of the human cells, of the body cells, and of the emotional quality of the soul. It utilizes this life energy of body and soul. It knows somehow, intuitively, the ego, that it is not self-sufficient, that it has to be a parasite. And if the host would, free himself or herself, as we are talking about human beings, from this parasite, then ego would simply dissipate. It would have nothing to draw energy from. So that's why the ego is so eager, always assign meaning. So always beware that when you have a computer open or a smartphone on, you have already lost the battle almost. You have to turn them on then when you, with your whole personality, that is body, soul, and the ego, feel a desire, not only a necessity, but a desire to what? To know either something, or sometimes I prefer to say, to enhance and deepen the quality of your body and soul experience. And then you come to those limits, because you can rarely enhance body and soul experience by looking into a two-dimensional screen, because the world is three-dimensional. And there you can satisfy and fulfill your desires of your body and soul. Okay. Once you go to the 2D media, smartphones, computers, and everything, then you should know about this. What are you actually going to get? Certainly, you can satisfy your cognitive necessities to understand what is going on, what is the political situation, what is the cultural situation, and so economic situation, because this is going to help you to survive. Question mark. It helps to survive the ego projection. The ego thinks and projects that this is that, this is that, I am a part of that, the system, and I have to deal with the money, and I have to have jobs, and I have to defend myself, I have to go to the country where they don't kill me, and so on. Great question. If it really is the way to survive. Yeah? Okay. Well, I will conclude with that. It will go endless. Have your smartphones and computers ready, but not turned on, and don't just throw a easy glance like what is it? What are they showing? What's going on? Then you will be a slave to your ego interpretations that are probably projected into you from the superego of family and institution and school and political party and churches and businesses and all that. Okay. Turn it on only if you really need something to know truly. The another higher level is for advanced students of self-control and observation in a life positive sense, is to have it opened and to watch yourself inside how you are being drawn to it. This is the similar what Krishnamurti said. Krishnamurti said, do not try to understand what I mean. Look at your own process of understanding, this desire, this will to understand, and watch it. Maybe it will dissipate, and then you will suddenly be truly enlightened in the Satori sense of the Japanese Satori, which means the true enlightenment is that there is no cognitive, informative enlightenment that is a sudden burst of condensed information, who is God and who am I and what is this world. This is an illusion. The true enlightenment in Satori is that all these questions fall apart. This is the koan of your life has been solved in the sense you don't know, and you don't care that you don't know, because you feel and you see and you smell and the flowers and the trees and the mountains, and this is the phenomenal experience that is the only true world. Okay, do not search anything beyond the phenomena. Who says that? Goethe, one of the great philosophers, of Germany, 19th century.